but maybe not. Monster nests. Drowners. That's not so bad. Some explosive air over there as well. Are they just drowners, or are they also other things? I'm actually not sure if we've seen a drowner nest either. Can we blow this up on you? Because that would be awesome. Yeah, careful. There are enough of these guys that this is actually a little bit dangerous. I know they still say drowner, yes, but they are level 9, compared to the level 4 that you often see the drowners at. They're no ordinary drowners. They are a little bit tougher. And sheer volume, of course, poses a bit of a threat. I did not have the stamina to use that sign that I was attempting to use. One more down. This appears to be the last one, at least for the moment it was. Like, until you get rid of the actual nest, you can never truly be sure. And I really did not think we had enough explosives remaining at this stage. Did we get a... Oh, Drown Dead to come out, actually. Not a Drowner. They are tougher. It is the same level. But theoretically, a stronger monster type. But there it goes. Okay. Lots of seashells. I suppose that probably makes sense, given how we're taking out drowners. The Drown Deads seem to never drop items. Oh, what is this? This is, person's loot, seemingly. Not something directly from a Drowner, unless Drowner has a diagram for a Witch Slayer. I'm not even sure if that's a weapon or a potion or what. Witcher's not quite the devils we thought. That's interesting. Okay. We have some stuff to read here. I don't think we've seen this before. A concoction has arisen amongst both mages, a conviction I should say, has arisen amongst both mages and the hoi polloi, that I'm not sure what that actually means. Maybe that's an expression I'm just not familiar with, but the Witchers barely rise a hair's breadth above animals, that they are deformed and bloodthirsty mutants, and that in slacking this thirst, they do not limit themselves... Slaking this thirst. They do not limit themselves to the fluids of monsters. Meanwhile, the research and observations of Virgil of Van Ard paint an entirely different picture of the cast. Of course, it is an indisputable fact that the mutations Witchers undergo influence their temperament, immune system, strength, and endurance, yet one cannot consider them unthinking beings forged only for killing as a result. In fact, Witchers cultivate a unique culture, a specialized body of knowledge, an effective training system, and even a code of honor. They know an incredible amount about the effects of ingesting various organic and inorganic substances, and also a small amount, but nevertheless something, about the fundamentals of magic, by which I mean the simple spell they call signs. On the surface, the Witchers appear to be a homogeneous social entity, but in truth, their fighting styles, training regimens, and worldviews differ significantly, depending upon the school to which they adhere. The best-known Witcher schools on the continent are the schools of the Wolf, which I assume is where we're from. Kaer Morhen, right? Is school for the Witchers from the School of the Wolf? School of the Bear, we have not really heard anything about that, I don't think. School of the Griffin, we've gotten some quests for their armor. School of the Viper, of course, heard a lot about that, and School of the Cat. Good to know. We are encumbered again, of course. So let us go back to the junk screen, probably, and drop some more junk, probably. The files weigh anything? Tiny bit. Probably not going to be enough to make a difference here, but I think the pelts do weigh a pretty significant amount. Rabbit pelts maybe not so much, but well, maybe not that either. bear hide, though. And we have just, yeah, this bear hide weighs a lot. We just have a lot of them overall, because I tend not to like to drop them. Maybe we do drop the platters. Fishing rod is basically weightless. I assume the same with the dolls, more or less. So, probably means that we ought to find some other way to reduce our weight here. Is our food... I feel like I've definitely checked this before, but our food does not have weight. In our 100 gallons of water. Because, you know, that would single-handedly weigh down any human or witcher. Okay. You know, it seems as though, in that case, it would probably be best for us to drop some, maybe, armor that is quite bad, because I think at this point, we've started to accumulate a few of those. Like this. It's not so great, and it weighs a lot. Yeah, let's dump this. Arguably the same here. Does it have anything going for it? It sorta does. Has some resistances that we don't have on our current armor. I actually don't know what I did there. But that is single-handedly enough. That's cool. And then we should have the loot from, yeah, the drowners we took out earlier. Okay. So I think that's it in this area. That was the question mark in question. And then now, we should be able to head back over to our friend over here. Because our job is done. Hello, good sir.
Any tidings?
Indeed. Lots of tidings.
Monster's dead. Fog's dispersed.
Ha! Village folk will be content. Give them cause to celebrate. Well, you've earned your reward. Take it, and fare you well.
Thank you. 240 experience is not bad. I don't think we had the opportunity to negotiate a price, so we just took whatever he gave us. Swamp thing down. Nice. Let's take a look at our quests now. We do, of course, have the main quest, and like we've been saying a little bit a while ago, it seems like, for the most part, even if these do start to become relatively low relative to our character level, that should still be okay. Because that kind of happens by necessity. If you're prioritizing the secondary quests and the Witcher contracts, then that means that it's going to be a while until you get around to the main quests, and therefore probably going to be over-leveled for them. So I think that's okay for Bloody Maren and Ladies of the Wood. However, we might want to start to focus back on, or maybe focus is too strong of a word, but maybe touch upon some of these ever so briefly. Do one of them here or there on occasion. Because there was a moment in time when it seemed as though we were running out of secondary quests that were around our level. There were some treasure hunts, yes, but not necessarily in areas that were nearby. And I think that's largely why we were doing so many of the question marks in and around this area of Velen. Because that was potentially a way to continue to do things other than the main quest that might have theoretically been around our level. And thus far, for the most part, that has been the case. What is this? That looks interesting, but I think is definitely further south than I would like to go at the moment. So I'm thinking, while we're in this general area, let's check this area out. Maybe as we're on our way back to Downwarren, we'll take a sharp right here, and then work our way up through these little houses as we go back. Maybe even check this out. We'll see. But this way first. And based on the enemies we've seen in here already, I would suspect that we're most likely, to run into some drowners. Perhaps unexpectedly, at that. Yeah. Come on, guys. Really? And we don't necessarily need to fight them. Is technically inefficient to do so. Although I do think, well, I say that because it uses durability on our weapons. However, I do think that I remember that in the past, when we turned in the items, sold some of the alchemical materials that we got from fighting groundworks in the past, surprisingly valuable. So much so that it might have theoretically paid off for some of that stuff. Now remember, one of the main quests, we are technically supposed to track down some bog people who live in the bogs. Ladies of the wood? Crones. They are crones, okay. And, we are in the bog right now. Or at least a bog. Out of curiosity, are we about to go to that very location? No, but it is extremely close. Wow. Okay, I did not realize that. That might be reason enough for us to do that soon. We'll check this place out. It might even be tied to this main quest at some point. I don't think we can jump the gun on main quests. I'm assuming that is mostly just a side quest type thing, but... Oh, there's the Trail of Treats, though. Which... that could be this. In fact, I'm pretty sure that is this. Because, yeah, that's a treat. As are these. So, yeah, just so happens that we happen to go in that direction, and we're now headed toward those ladies of the wood. Do we want to do that now? As I was saying, it is awfully convenient while we're in this area. Maybe that's a reason to deliberately test out these areas first. Now that we know that this is, yes, a place of note, for certain. But I think we do this anyway. Let's check it out. Like I said, we've done our fair share of side missions for a little while now. So to make a little bit of progress on the main mission at the moment, I think we should be fine. So maybe attempt to come in peace.
Doug went in the kitchen, stole a hunk of meat. Cook gave him a licking, strung him by his feet. Cooked and bled him empty, stripped his skin off clean.
Laughed and said, "How tasty, best sausage I have seen."
Cook's a stupid killer, shouldn't have ate the pup. Now we're light a fire, gonna roast him up.
Kids, that's maybe not the best nursery rhyme.
Want to fetch the kindlings? Thief!
Interesting rhyme.
Yeah, a little concerning.
Don't know you. Go away.
Is this... Oh, okay, well, at first I was thinking, is this a reference to Kira? That would be Siri. All these things.
What are you doing out here alone?
We's not alone. We's with Gran.
But where did you all come from?
We's orphans.
All of you?
There's a war, so there's orphans. Didn't know that?
I suppose. Does check out.
I'm looking for the witches of Crookback Bog.
You looks like a witch yourself.
Excuse me?
Witches? Of the bog? We can't go in the bog. Gran don't let us. When my brother Zamek went
Gran's
missing,
actually the
Gran
witch.
said it was because he went in the woods and got lost. Gran cried an awful lot after that. He could still come back.
Okay.
A young woman got lost in the swamp. She has ashen hair and a scar on her face. You kids see anyone like that?
Ain't no lassies here. What am I? You're no lassie. Lassie's got tits.
Hey!
Too.
Watch your
Heard
mouth.
an old man say once, when the army was here, he says, "Hide them lasses in the woods. They's dazzling the soldiers with their tits. And it's torturing the poor lads." That's
Where do
what he
these
said.
kids learn this language? Sounds like girl could be in trouble, but also live here alone. That is a little bit concerning, but mostly
Listen,
we care about the girl.
I'm looking for, she's in trouble. I understand you might not want to help me, but you could try to help her.
How you know she was here?
I heard she visited the witches in the swamp.
But there's no witches here.
There's only frogs. And snakes.
And Johnny.
What's
Ouch.
this talk? What kind of jabbering is this, eh?
Well, who is this then?
No one allowed here. Just kids. My kids. They're allowed. But who are you, wearing swords like a bandit?
Who is this Johnny of which they were speaking?
Who's Johnny?
Let's cut to the chase.
Johnny ate a cat. Come the more in some furry shat.
What your language?
Yeah.
They tells tales and tales, naught but tales.
Okay. Let's maybe, you know, lead up to the whole witch conversation. I feel like that's maybe not the best way to introduce ourselves.
You look after these kids?
They're my grandchildren.
Gran's good to us. Gonna be soup with scratchings for supper.
Kids get lost in the woods. I miss them. Seen them in the woods. No one has.
So, like, are you abducting these children, or are they honestly people who got lost? I don't know.
Are you one of the witches of the swamp? I hear Crookback Bog.
Witch? Me? Nay, I've no broom nor owl and not one wart on me nose. Got a pretty nose, see?
I
Gran's got
guess.
a lovely beak.
Oh,
That's one way to put it.
darling girl. Oh, kids are so sweet.
Okay, but yeah, so about this
Just
other
talking to the
ashen-haired
kids.
woman.
Asked them if they'd seen a young woman.
I was a lovely young woman. Wore a long, beautiful braid my mummy did up for me. Had dresses with flowers on them.
Yeah, except I'm not talking
Maybe
about
you've
you.
seen her. Young, ashen hair.
Your betrothed
Daughter, actually.
daughter? My dear, sweet little daughter and her sister. Where are they now? Maybe they've come to some harm.
Ew. Yeah. So, like, I know that might be bad, but at the same time, we're kind of looking for someone, so, like, can we maybe focus on that person and not your person?
A bit of help, please? A young, ashen-haired woman. Just need to know if you've seen her.
What are you looking at, children? Wash your hands, we'll go catch crickets.
Won't learn anything from you.
Aye, 'cause I don't know nothing.
That Johnny knows. He knows a lot.
Who
When I
is this
asked
Johnny
him
guy?
something, he says, wait, I'll scratch my arse and tell you.
Ugly word. What you saying? To the hut. You'll stand in a corner. I'll make sure you do. You. Be gone. Be gone.
I thought this Johnny was some fictional character, however, starting to think that might just be an exaggeration. He might be real. Character added GRAN and Ladies of the Wood. Okay. Huh. What do we know about GRAN then? In times of war, one often encounters those who have suffered cruelly at the hands of fate. Geralt was thus not shocked to meet the woman who the children in the Velen swamps called GRAN, but she seemed to have suffered manifold unspecified ills. Whatever her woes, it was clear she cared for the war orphans in her charge with love and devotion. Yes, you know, a little bit harsh, perhaps. Granted, the children are, you know, cussing like sailors, but still. There's that, and then we did get a quest update as well. Ladies of the Wood. Oh, I mean, well, we kind of... Yes, we did cut that part out, but I mean, we did also just happen across the Trail of Treats without that, so who needs it? I assume that doesn't really matter? Probably not. Go to the hut and talk to the boy. That actually is a thing. Finding this Johnny of which they were speaking. But see, the thing is, like, there might also be loot in here. More animal pelts that will continue to weigh us down. Lunar shards, though. I am interested in those, for sure. Ooh. I guess it's something. I was expecting some good stuff in the chest, though. Okay. Journey to the end of the world. Sirens, the Harpy's distant relatives, are winged... Wait, sirens are winged? Talking about sirens, not harpies? Are winged monsters found in the Skellige archipelago. Uh-oh. most frequently on unpopulated isles or in the inaccessible coastal areas of populated ones. According to legend, they are daughters of the mythical winged giant Hrarsfeld, who lives on the edge of the world and births gales with the waving of his wings. Hrarsfeld's daughters seek out the company of giants and often make their nests near their lairs. Oh, so they're not only sirens, they're giants too. Fantastic. Alright. So we know we have that to look forward to once we make it to the Skellige Isles. These creatures attack boats and ships from the air, tearing sails and rigging to shreds and rendering the vessels immobile. At times, they will snatch men or cattle from the deck and drop them from great heights to their death. They also attack travelers trekking across isolated beaches. That sounds like us. Ooh, we learned about Erinyas and Sirens. Erinyas, I recognize that name from... And Succubi? What? There's no mention of Succubi or Erinyas in that one. However, you can check them out. Erinyas are super harpies, I remember from The Witcher 2. Succubi, however, technically qualify as a hybrid? A merchant once told me I reminded him of an Erinya. Naturally, I immediately teleported him to one of their nests, so he could see for himself how ill-fitting a comparison it was. Sorceress, also known as Coral. I was gonna say, that had to be it. Sorcerer or sorceress of some variety, right? Or just teleport people to Erinya nests, willy-nilly. Hard as it is to imagine, the Erinyas found in Skellige, okay, so they are, again, specifically Skellige, are even more repulsive and dangerous than harpies, their close relatives. Though well-rotten carrion is their food of choice, they will not turn up their noses at fresh meat, man flesh included. When they spy a potential victim, Erinyas, like harpies or Shishigas, have not heard that one before, will try to make full use of the strength of their numbers and their ability to control disguise. They will circle above their prey, then attack from several directions at once, striking with razor-sharp talons and tearing their targets to shreds. While attacking, they aim for the neck, eyes, and other vital organs, often causing their prey to bleed to death as a result. In this way, a small flock of Erinyas is able to make quick work of larger and better armed victims, who often are not able to defend themselves effectively from several opponents attacking at once. Okay, so definitely their numbers are one of the most dangerous components. Hybrid oil and hard sign, that makes sense. Harpies, we've seen them. Sirens, that's new. Yes, confirmed. They do have wings, for certain. I was not misreading that. Out at sea, if you hear a beautiful woman singing, turn the ship around at once. You understand? Even if it means sailing straight back into a storm. Auric of Hindersfjall, advice given to his son before his first solo voyage. Like skilled hunters setting out wooden ducks, lure in drakes, sirens and lamias lure men near, haven't heard lamias, using their own bodies as decoys. They can transform to resemble beautiful human maidens, though the tails covered in silver scales instead of legs. Once a naive sailor gets within arm's reach of these beautiful creatures, their fair faces suddenly turn to fang-filled, fish-like maws, and lovely tails promising unknown delights become sharp, death-dealing talons. One legend claims that sirens and lamias were once friendly towards men, and supposedly were even known, albeit on rare occasions, to accept some sailors' clumsy attempts at courtship. In our day, however, they are decidedly aggressive, perhaps sourced by the numerous kidnappings carried out by frustrated sea salts. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. These days, the monsters display no signs of goodwill, and so when spotting them, one should immediately reach for one silver sword. Or turn the ship around. Sirens and lamias, the sirens' more dangerous cousins, okay. Figured it would be similar to Erinyas and harpies. Usually hunt in flocks. They hunt in numbers as well, making use of their numbers as well as their ability to move effortlessly through the water and air. That is also concerning that they can attack from several different ways. On the ground, however, they are virtually defenseless. Okay, they do have a weakness. And so a wise tactic is to damage their fin-like wings to force them to land. Okay, so Ard, in that case, potentially. I don't know if swinging your sword alone is enough to make that happen. The Igni sign also proves effective when fighting against them. Really. Threatened or injured sirens will let out a terrifying shriek, leaving their opponents stunned while they escape. And their sisters swoop down for an easy attack. Yes, not often that we see two signs that are effective against the same enemy. Usually it's one, if any. So that's a bit surprising, especially for an enemy that is sort of a water-dwelling being of some sort. I would not really expect fire to be terribly effective against them, but apparently on this occasion, can be. Succubi, again, not explicitly mentioned in that passage there, but for whatever reason, is showing up on this occasion. Hybrid oil, Quen is usually for enemies that are slow but hard-hitting. I wouldn't really expect a succubi, which is basically, roughly the same size as a human, I suppose. But what do I know? Again? Good grief, woman. I'm spent. Lester of Smallian to a succubus a few days before taking a vow of celibacy. Well, yep. That's a succubi for you. Succubus. Unlike other monsters, succubi and Menids, is that the male version of a succubus? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe again, it's just a more powerful version. Feel no desire to kill, do not crave human blood, and usually do not, in fact, mean any harm at all. They are motivated by one thing and one thing only, an insatiable lust. They try in vain to slake by engaging in those types of acts with any other humanoid species they encounter. While it must be admitted that their victims rarely put up much resistance, this does not mean succubi and Menids do not present any danger. Their never-ending advances, though pleasurable at first, have pushed more than one man to madness or even death. Succubi and Menids usually can be found near human settlements, including small villages and populous cities. Prowl at night, though when stricken by serious need, they will leave their lairs during the day as well. They shower their affections on men as well as women, the young as well as the old, the ugly as well as the beautiful. Some of them are particularly fond of pastors and other holy men, whose seduction they treat as a sort of game. Though succubi are peaceful by nature, when forced to fight, they will defend themselves fiercely. One should thus not be fooled by their fair appearance. Under the velvety skin of their arms lie muscles of iron, and a blow delivered with their rear goat-like legs, or the thick horns on their head can easily crush bone. The horns I get, I did not realize they had goat-like legs. Okay, I suppose so. I think that was the last of the new monsters we just learned about. Although I see there's a star here under necrophages. I'm not necessarily sure why. Did we learn more about one of these types of enemies, perhaps? Oh, Ignis Fatus, the guy that we just fought, the super foglet. Careful, sir. A monster prowls the fog. Enter the mist, and you'll never see your home again. And that's the guy that we were just talking to. The monster haunting the peat bogs of Velen turned out to be an ancient foglet. These are exceptionally long-lived creatures. Some have even dwelt on this earth for over 200 years, growing stronger and stronger all the while. Blows dealt by foglets of such an age carry so much power, blocking them is out of the question. I didn't necessarily try to block, but that's interesting. Okay. I wonder if it actually would have meant that you can't actually reduce the amount of damage you take with block. Probably does. These foglets possess the ability to move extremely quickly, and not even Uridan can slow them down. Also, didn't really try Uridan, but good to know. Furthermore, they can meld completely into the mist, definitely saw that, and then suddenly rematerialize to strike them from behind. Wearing heavy armor or making good use of the Quen sign is highly recommended. Yup. Makes sense. This ancient foglet proved particularly adept in the art of forming illusions. Yeah, there were a bunch of fake foglets that I initially thought were just going to be the typical low-level minion types, but after swinging our sword at them a few times, it did seem that they are truly just that they were, illusions. Couldn't damage them, couldn't get rid of them. Only a professional monster slayer skilled with signs and swords could best such a foe. Luckily, Geralt fit that description perfectly. Nice. Okay. So, Right, we were checking out this building here in the Crone area. I am intrigued, however, by this one for sure. Something tells me this may very well be locked. As it is, yeah, big and significant, and seems like, you know, we probably wouldn't be able to go in there of our own accord. Interesting as it may be. It says there are herbs here, but I'm not seeing them. Okay, in that case, let's check out the room where we are supposed to go. The little kids. Hey guys.
Must be coming home from war.
Okay. Oh, I thought this was where the door was, for some reason. There are several doors. However, that was not one of them. Okay. This is where our Johnny guy is. Take the wine stone. Don't mind if I do. I'll also take from this chest. Ooh, very nice. Lots of valuable metals there. And more loot to be had. Don't mind if I do. Theoretically, that is lootable. Yeah, we just need a better angle. Thought one of those still was. Maybe not? Okay. Oh no, it's just GRAN. Not Johnny. Oh no, that's John. Or... Okay, maybe it's not actually Johnny.